In this exercise, you're going to be working in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. In addition to learning a little bit about these languages, you're going to learn how they work together. To begin, go to Assignments in Brightspace, where you can find the links to the readings for the exercise and the exercise itself. The readings in the exercise are in the website I'm creating for the class. I put them here because I thought it would make them more user-friendly. The readings are very short and are meant to prepare you for the exercise, so please do them first. To begin, you're going to need to download the exercise files, which can be found on the exercise instructions page. Likely the folder will download to your Downloads folder. Move it from there to your desktop, click on the zip file, and that's the folder you're going to be working in. Make sure to save all of your work in there. Don't move any of the files out of there. And when you create a CSS file, make sure it's saved there as well. When you click on the folder, you will see two files. One is .txt and one is .js. Take the .txt or text file and open it in a simple text editor. Macs have what is called TextEdit, and I believe PCs have what is called Notepad. When looking at this file, you can see it is an HTML doc. It has a head and a body and the other tags that make up a basic HTML document. Within the head, you will have some tags I have already added. These will be what connects the CSS and JavaScript to the HTML doc. Additionally, there is a title tag within the head tag. This is a bit of metadata that will help communicate what this document is or is about. Let's give it the title HTML Encoding. Within the body tag, there are two header tags, H1 and H2, and one paragraph tag. In H1, you're going to put a title for what this document will ultimately become, which is your short reflection essay. Title it something like HTML Encoding Reflection Essay. Next, you're going to make the H2 tag be the byline, so put by and your name. In the paragraph tags, you're going to put your reflection, but you don't have it yet since you haven't completed this exercise. So use what is called dummy text, which is regularly used in design when you don't have the text and you need a placeholder. Just type in dummy text in Google and a number of sites will come up. You'll notice the text is in Latin. As far as I know, this is a holdover from early printing. I also suspect it is because people don't read Latin usually, and therefore it's less distracting. Copy about a paragraph's length of text and paste it between the paragraph in and out tags. For every paragraph you write, you should add new tags, which will create space between them. Once you've done this, you need to save the document as an HTML file. When you just hit save, it will continue to save it as a text file, which is not viewable in a web browser as a web page. Here you can see if you open a text file in a web browser, all you see is the HTML. So what you need to do is change the file extension from txt to HTML. Just click on the file name, delete the text, and add the new extension. The odds are you will get a pop-up that asks which extension to use. Click HTML. Now when you click on the file to open it, it will open as a web page in a web browser. When you do this, you can see how bare bones the formatting is. Notice the font type and size. What you see here is the default look and layout of an HTML document. To change the defaults, you use CSS. To do this, you're going to create a new CSS file. Go back to your text editor and create a new file. In this file, you can cut and paste the CSS example that has been provided for you. Note that not all of the CSS that you will need is there. Once you have done this, save the file with a CSS extension. Use the file name dhexercise.css. If you go to your web browser and refresh your HTML file, you will see the CSS has no effect. The reason for this is that you have not linked the CSS to the HTML. To do this, open your HTML file back up in your text editor and add the CSS file name to the CSS tag. The file name is dhexercise.css. Once you've done this, save the HTML document. When you refresh your browser, you can see a lot of change has occurred. In this case, the change doesn't look very good, but you can see that the CSS is having an effect. It is your job to go in and play with this. Add new CSS elements, change colors, improve the layout, and so forth. Go wild or be conservative, but make sure that your CSS makes some kind of change to all of the HTML tags within the body of the HTML doc. There are CSS resources below to help you with this. Next, you're going to work with JavaScript. You have been provided with a JavaScript file. To begin, you need to link the JavaScript file to your HTML doc. Viewing your HTML doc in your text editor, look at the two JavaScript tags. Because the JavaScript file created for this exercise is in jQuery, we need to link the jQuery library to the HTML doc. That is what this tag does. The second JavaScript tag creates a link to the actual JavaScript file. Add the JavaScript file name here. The name should be dhexercise.js. Save the HTML doc and refresh the browser to see the changes the JavaScript has made. You should see a fade-in. JavaScript is making that happen. To understand more about how this works, look at the JavaScript file, which is in jQuery form. Open the file in the text editor. This is the code. What it is essentially saying is that until the web page is fully loaded, the page content will remain hidden. Once the page is loaded, it will fade in at this rate. Notice the part of the page that it is speaking to or pointing to is the body. This means that all the content in the body will fade in. But body can be changed to something else. Let's see what happens when it's changed to H1. When I save the JavaScript file and refresh the HTML document in the web browser, the H1 fades in and the rest of the body loads normally. To get a better sense of how this works, play around with the speed of the fade in the JavaScript file. When you turn in your work, I want to see that it has been changed. You are welcome to change the tag that fades in as well. When you're done with the exercise, turn the exercise folder into a zip file by compressing it. On a Mac, you hit the Control key and click on the folder. Then you select Compress. On a PC, right-click the folder, select Send to, and then select Compressed Folder. Once you have compressed your folder, add your initials to the file name and upload it to Brightspace.